This is technically old news, isn't it? We're talking about the Edmonton Oilers of yesterday. The ones who were sent down and not really put into the spotlight because they needed to improve and they needed to work on their games elsewhere. Today we are talking about Jack Campbell, goaltender for the Oilers that started out this season terribly, got sent down on waivers, passed through waivers, nobody claimed him, and now he is in the AHL. Last time we had talked about Campbell, we talked about how it got worse for the guy. How he started out his AHL 23-24 stint with a bad showcase against the Abbotsford Canucks. The guy let in even more goals in even fewer shots compared to what he did in the Vancouver Canucks games. He played against the Abby Canucks and was letting in some absolute stinkers. Plays where the puck gets kind of tossed on goal and not even really shot on goal. It kind of deflects towards him and he lets it trickle by. Stuff like that. We made that video a few days ago saying, hey, things just got worse for Jack Campbell and I feel kind of bad. But now, I don't know if I feel bad. Like, at some point, you have to acknowledge that even when somebody is playing poorly, they are quote-unquote in a slump, at some point, the misfortune reaches such a low level that you kind of just look at this in awe. You say, wait a minute, how are you this bad? How did it get this bad? What happened here? Like, sure, you have a friend, a buddy, who goes through a little bit of a setback. Let's say he gets into a car crash or whatever. You feel bad, you help him, you pick him up off of his feet, you give him the motivational speeches, you try to get him to go. But when your friend, instead, is in a car crash, in a car that he doesn't own, where he's months behind on his payments, and he has no job, he was on his way to the club for the third night in a row in the middle of the week, he's got no savings, his girlfriend left him, all this stuff, when it starts piling and piling and piling, you're like, okay, like, how do you even get this bad? What happened here? Now that's an extreme example. I'm being hyperbolic for the sake of making an interesting commentary. But for Jack Campbell in the AHL, this guy got worse. He's worse in the AHL than he was in the NHL. And my question to you is, how the hell is that even possible? Jack Campbell yesterday, in his third game played in the American Hockey League this season, had himself a whopping stat line of 26 shots against and 21 saves. This guy let in 5 goals against the Calgary Wranglers last night on 26 shots against, and some of these goals absolutely stunk. In true Edmonton Oilers fashion, the first shot of the game goes in, of course. Like, it's a play where the puck is kind of out on the side and it gets tossed into the middle, and for some reason it ends up in the back of the net. Okay, great. One of the other goals that was let in was another one of these small, like, innocuous kind of floaters tossed towards the goal that ends up getting by everybody, and then it gets by the goaltender too. And Jack Campbell kind of has that look up in the sky to the heavens type of moment after. Like, this is the third game that he has played. The first game was already pretty bad. And then you had yourselves what was the second game that he played in Bakersfield. Same thing. Like, what? His second game in the AHL was also against the Abbotsford Canucks, just like the first one. The Bakersfield Condors lost 4-0, and Campbell let in 4 goals on 26 shots against. If you go over to Campbell's entire just season as a whole, the guy played 5 games with the Edmonton Oilers, had a 4.50 goals against and an 8.73 save percentage, 1-4-0. And he's got 3 games played with the Bakersfield Condors, 4.36 goals against, so that's not remotely, like, better. He's slightly better, not by a lot. And then his save percentage at 8.19. Like, what? How has he gotten worse? How has he gotten to a point where a few years ago, just in 2018, 2019, the guy was playing in the AHL, he's making, like, what? $800,000 a year? $600,000 a year? Now, it's 2023, he's in the AHL again, now he's making $5 million a year. This is like an inspirational story for the ages. The guy has a crazy good tour of the NHL, plays in LA, plays in Toronto, he is amazing there, and then he's brought over to Edmonton to be the guy, and he absolutely just reverts back into an AHL caliber goaltender, and the hope is completely gone here. Campbell is 31 years old. Now in the AHL, he is giving the Oilers no reason to even think about bringing him back up. No reason. There hasn't been a game where it's like, oh yeah, he's looked good. All these saves and all these lack of saves. This was supposed to help the guy. This was supposed to give him confidence. Jack Campbell was supposed to go down to the AHL, start lighting up that league because he's a bit better than being an AHL caliber guy, and go along his way. Things were supposed to be fine. But no, he got worse. So my question to you here is, if you're a fan of the Bakersfield Condors, AHL team of the Edmonton Oilers, if you've been watching the games against the Calgary Wranglers, against the Abbotsford Canucks, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comments. How in the heck is Jack Campbell playing these days? I'll be honest, I'm just looking at the highlights, I'm looking at the numbers. I haven't seen and sat down to watch a full AHL game in maybe a year or so. It's been a while. But Jack Campbell is giving us reasons to pay attention to the AHL, and not because, oh, look at that, he's doing amazing. It's, oh, like, it's a car crash type of thing. You can't look away. It's totally human nature to pay attention to that. If it were me, like, I try to explain what's going on here, there's gotta be something up with the guy's mental. Like, I know videos on YouTube like this probably aren't helping, but at the same time, I mean, NHL players should probably be avoiding the internet anyway in regards to, you know, hockey analysis. But I feel like this is important enough to talk about, where it's like, yeah, a guy who was making $5 million was supposed to be the starter, was supposed to be the savior in Edmonton after being so good in Toronto. He has totally crapped the bed. It's been a year and a bit, and now he's in the AHL posting up some of the worst numbers in his entire gosh darn career. Like, what do you do at this point? We always knew the guy had bad mental issues with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I say it, okay, that sounds really bad, my bad. I phrased that wrong. We know that he had a lot of mental setbacks wherein he would be his own enemy, and he would talk about that in the media. It was his thing. It was a thing that he did, and like, now with the Oilers, you know, I'm not making this video because I want to dance on the guy's grave. I'm making the video because I'm shocked. Like, how is this even possible? There has to be some sort of a similar thing going on with the Oilers. He has lost his confidence. He is not looking like himself in the NHL. He is looking even worse in the AHL. And, I mean, $5 million going out there posting up an .819 save percentage in his limited stint, where he was supposed to be able to regain his form, you know, get back up to speed, get his confidence back, work his way back to the Oilers. There's no way he's getting called up now. No way. He's looked even worse in the AHL, and you kind of have to wonder, okay, where do you go from here if you're a $5 million caliber NHL supposed to be goaltender, and you're just not performing up to that standard? I mean, if you're talking about it financially, who cares? The guy's set for life pretty much, making $5 million a season until 2026, 2027. Doesn't matter what happens. Even if he gets bought out, there's still a lot more contract money to be made there. But either way, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this entire Jack Campbell got worse thing in the American Hockey League? I did not think it was possible, but it's possible, and it's happening all right. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Where do the Oilers go from here? Do they just roll with the Pickard-Stuart Skinner thing? Do they try to get some games in for Olivier Rodrigue? And what the heck happens to Jack Campbell? Do you force a buyout at the end of the season if things don't get any better? Do you try to get some team to take his money on? Because I don't know if that's actually going to happen. His asset value is probably so bad right now. Everybody in the NHL, everybody in the AHL is seeing what's going on, seeing the numbers, and I don't think anybody is looking saying, oh yeah, I'm going to get that guy. I want that guy for my team. We can help out with our LTAR or whatever. Like, it's not a thing. You know? So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Jack Campbell situation in Edmonton. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.